I wanted to respond or to do something with the war on drugs and with and all the violence in Mexico. So I was very opposed to the what now is called misery porn, or like the exploitation or glorification of violence. I felt like these people were being used, and it was content created to like be successful in like in a film festival abroad, but it didn't resonate at all within the country or community that it was all about. So I have this idea of like, how would you approach that in a different way? Like I got this bootleg CD like with MP3 cumbia rebajada, like the slow down cumbia, from many years ago, and I was fascinated by it. And I always, if you watch Reseta or like my other like things, it's all about cultural clash, and syncretisms or accidental like the spontaneity of like of accidents, and like the fertile ground for culture or for like human connection or disconnection. Those songs like really like appeal to me by what they represented sociologically. But then it just became a little bit more poetic when I started like visiting the border and the Northeast, particularly Reynosa and Monterrey. It was rather dark, like to be talking to the kids and saying like, I just want to talk to you. And they were saying like, they were asking my age by then, and I was about like in my very early 30s, and they would say, oh, that by that time they would be dead, because they would rather live 1 year experiencing like the pleasures in life than living a life in misery and poverty, and so they assumed they were going to die young. So then like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how, but I felt like I put one and two together, and it was like this music that slowed down, and that this like inherently tropical and happy, and like this Colombian cumbia, that it's meant to last 5 minutes. By making it a 10-minute song, somehow it like tells me that it's as if they wanted to stop time, because there's no future, there's no opportunities, there's no upward social mobility whatsoever. So for me, that was like what started inspiring this character, someone who was like, like 16, 17, and is defined by his passion. As I was researching the Colombia movement as it's portrayed on the film, it was I saw it vanishing from my view, or from my fingers, because it was in the middle of the war on drugs. So I started, it was like doing archaeology of something that it's like expiring, as you are getting closer to it. So, and I've seen like really some good, very good photos taken of them by Vice magazine, and an article that was really strange to me. I felt it made me feel uncomfortable, because it was basically like taking the kids out of their element and bringing them like, in a white canvas, just to be like appreciated aesthetically, and as every countercultural movement, it's contestatory by definition, like, so there's a reason for each of their decisions. And even if it's not something they can like verbally articulate, it's there, it's very clear through their dance, or through like inhabiting like these baggy huge clothes, through like reinventing themselves and changing their names, because where the society and families have left them like, down, gangs have stood up and fill in for human necessities of belonging, and identification, and growing up in a community. Most of them didn't finish school or quit school when they were like 8, 10, like some others were still in school. But so for example, with colors, I would say like, hey, let's have like 4 emotions, um joy, sadness, fear, and anger, and let's assign each color to which one of them, and then can you be happy and sad at the same time? And they will be like, no. I'm like, yes. Imagine if you combine this color and this a new emotion. So that's nostalgia. Have you ever felt like you missed something, and then by remembering it, you have some joy, by remembering things you've lost? Oh yes, so we would like be working like that. It's all about the angle. I always say that film not only I mean, film, other than only telling stories, like there's so much more to that. It also offers the opportunity, the possibility of like showing ways to look at things, and I mean, I don't know if the other fellows know, but like Monterrey is like the first like industrial city in Latin America. Is the richest municipality in the whole Latin America, and it's a land of contrast. There's initiatives in which they want to like build a tunnel so that the rich people don't have to drive through and look at the favela while they are going to their hills, so it's a land of contrast, and the urban design of the city is consciously made for these people in the periphery not to come and coexist with the rich people, and maybe sometimes you need to be from outside to see things, because if you grow there, it's like it's always there, like I remember here in Mexico City, like the kids who are like try to clean your windshield, like so many in every red light, and I once a friend from abroad came and he was completely surprised and touched, and we are going to party, and he was like, how, I mean, like he was really affected by it. But I grew up like seeing them all every day, all day, so sometimes being an outsider helps to do to see things. As you probably know, in the DNA of Mexico and several other Latin American countries, the more the ones with the biggest indigenous population, and there's like lack of self-esteem, collectively, and at the end of the day, it's a country that was conquered, and it's like the losers, and the ones who won are the ones who are in privilege right now, and by the way they look and what they do and all that. So it's something that it's part of the Mexican DNA, even in sports, like you can see that, oh yeah, like it's always like a dream, and it's always like that. Um, so for me, it was incredibly touching to see how it could dignify them by actually being who they are, like and feeling proud and represented, and right now they have other invitations to make the different projects and work, and as much as I can, I try to be around, because I also, it's not my responsibility, and it can evolve into something unhealthy. But it's very interesting to see how like then they are asked to be hitmen or child soldiers or sicarios, or like for like these kind of like shows and stuff like that. And the ones who are trusting me are like, hey, let's try to do something different, and it's starting to work,